Today on Top 5 Friday, I'm going to tell you guys my top 5 most complimented designer fragrances. Woo! Welcome back to J-ROYL, everyone. My name is James. This is Top 5 Friday. Every Friday, I do a top 5 on fragrances. If this is your first time on J-ROYL, please go ahead and subscribe if you like fitness, fragrance, and fun, good, cool times. When it comes to fragrances / cologne / perfume / whatever, compliments aren't everything, but they're totally everything. A lot of us, we like to wear fragrances as an accessory to our wardrobe. It's something that helps us express ourselves. A lot of us do appreciate the artistry of perfumery, but a lot of us, we like to get nice things said about us when we're wearing fragrances. Designer fragrances do a very good job at doing that.
What are designer fragrances?
I mean, there's a whole bunch of definitions, but the standard one seems to be fragrances that are made by designer houses. These are usually fashion houses like Gucci or Jean Paul Gaultier. But for the sake of this list, I want to include some houses that don't necessarily make cool clothes, but are within the designer price range. So this top 5 consists of fragrances that are about $50 to $100 retail. Enough chatter, let's get into the list. The number 5 complimented designer fragrance is Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. Guys, I'm starting with a heavy hitter. Every guy should have this in their collection. This is the original modern freshie. The reason there's Sauvage and Aqua Atlantique and Luna Rossa Carbon and X-Batch, because of this guy. Bleu de Chanel is Chanel's best-selling men's fragrance still, although I only got 2 memorable compliments this year. A, I haven't worn it a ton, and B, I just know it's working even when I'm not getting compliments. I used to wear this to my improv classes, and I could just feel people gravitate towards me while I'm wearing this pleasant fragrance. It's also one that is actually appreciated more by girls than it is guys. Oftentimes it's the other way around, where us guys love it, but the girls, they're like, I'm okay. Number 5, Bleu de Chanel. I do like the EDP, guys. I do like it a little more, there's a little more gusto to it. My number 4 most complimented designer fragrance had to be on the list. La Nuit de l'Homme by Yves Saint Laurent. Historically, this fragrance is probably close to number 1 on compliments. This year, I only got about a handful, maybe 4 or 5. Bit of a cough hiccup. A kick up. It's a fragrance that won't be insanely loud unless you wear it in warmer weather, which I would recommend, believe it or not. But for its optimal intended use, dates. It's definitely a fragrance that draws someone in, and hopefully that someone is the someone that you want it to be. I don't know. No matter what formulation, to be completely honest, this is a winner. At number 4, La Nuit de l'Homme. My number 3 most complimented designer fragrance is Allure Homme Sport. I know it's strange. It's not the darker Eau Extreme bottle. That's because I get a lot more compliments with this. I personally love the original. I do really like Eau Extreme as well, but I don't necessarily think Extreme is better. They're just different fragrances. Eau Extreme has the sweet tone toned up, while this one sits in the middle of sweet, but still fresh. I think this fragrance has familiarity on its side. Yes, you do want to smell unique and you want to be the only one wearing a fragrance, but I'm not mad about smelling like whoever's wearing this, because this smells great and it's very versatile. While the Facebook groups and the YouTube reviewers may tell you to skip this and go straight to Eau Extreme, I'm here to tell you that I've gotten excellent compliments with this fragrance consistently. It's been around for a long time for a reason. The second and final Chanel at number 3, Allure Homme Sport. My number 2 most complimented designer fragrance may come as a surprise to some of you. The King of Tar, Amen by Mugler. Yes, this has a pretty heavy tar-like opening. I just think it's heavy on the patchouli. I don't really get a tar vibe. I'm not around a lot of tar pits. It's just very strong on the opening, but I love that strength because it lingers and carries on and does soften and round at the edges as the fragrance dries down. When it dries down, compliment getter, guys. huge compliment getter. I've gotten approximately 8 unsolicited compliments this year wearing this fragrance. Just under 10, but they're usually long after I applied the fragrance, which shows how potent it is, even with a more modern formulation like this one. Out of the 8 compliments that I've gotten, about 7 of them were from women over the age of 40. So this will get compliments from a more mature crowd. If you're cool with that, cool. I wouldn't necessarily bring this to a rave, unless if it was like an all-night Frankie Valli concert, then you'd be the talk of the town. The battle of the ball. At number 2, Amen. And my number 1 complimented designer fragrance, Pineapple Vintage Noir by Parfums Vintage. This is the reason I made that whole stipulation on, it's not necessarily all designer house fragrances, but it's all within the designer price range. Parfums Vintage, they don't make clothes yet. I don't know. They just make fragrances, but they definitely come with a designer price tag, albeit maybe a little on the higher end. And say what you will about the company, this fragrance has gotten me unlimited compliments.